Every day, there's a battle for your mind raging. Information coming from every angle with the will to deceive. Fear not. You found the place for truth. The voice of a generation that still has the will to believe in the greatest country in the history of the world. This is the Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up. Here we go.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Take a seat. Wow. I wish I could have spent all morning talking to you guys. What an impressive group of people. And just from all across the country. And look at this. The Chapter Leadership Summit keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single year. It's just amazing. And so I want to make sure we spend, and we have plenty of time for questions. And because I know that we did not get enough time at breakfast. But I want to talk about the priority of living a deep life. And every single one of you that have decided to be a Turning Point USA chapter leader, you have made an intentional decision that you want to live a deep life over an easy life. And almost every single one of you, unless you go to Arkansas Baptist. Where's my Arkansas Baptist people, by the way? I saw them somewhere. Yeah, you might have it a little easy. And then I asked the question of many of you. You go to Suffolk in Boston, or Oswego in New York, or all these very, very liberal places. And I say, is it easy being a Turning Point USA chapter leader? And many of you would say no. You get criticized, you get called names, you get smeared, you get slandered. But then the most important question is not whether it is easy or not. It is it worth it? And the answer to that is, of course it's worth it. And that is a very profound point. And that will be my entire remarks this morning, and then we'll do questions, which is the modern culture, largely driven by secularism, tells you what you should do is the easy thing, not the deep thing. And in life, you will realize the more rewarding thing to do might be the more difficult thing to do. For example, starting a Turning Point USA chapter, organizing your friends, getting involved on campus, that is a guaranteed way that you will experience opposition. And one of the reasons why I'm so inspired by you, and I hope you are inspired by each other, when you see how many other chapter leaders there are across the country doing the same things that you are doing, is that you are telling your peers that I am taking the more difficult road because America is worth saving more than my popularity on campus. That America is far more important to me and my life than whether or not the purple-haired jihadis or the trans mafia on campus is going to say good things about you. You should delight and rejoice in the opposition. You should be thankful that you are able to do something that is worthwhile. Every single day I am asked the question by many patriots across the country, what can I do? What can I do to save the country? You answer that question every single day because you are doing the work to save this beautiful republic. And I want you to think about the rest of your life, the lessons that you learn as a Turning Point USA chapter leader. It's very, very important that taking the deep but sometimes the difficult road is the way that you should configure your life. For example, getting married and having children is a difficult but deep decision that I hope every single one of you make at some point in your life. However, the culture will tell you, you might not have as much time to yourself. You might not be able to travel the world. You might not have as much money. All of those things are true. And your answer should be, so? I want a deep and meaningful and purposeful life, not an easy life. And we as conservatives must be very clear with that. If you want an easy life, then you become a leftist. They will pay for your college, forgive your student loans, give you free stuff. you do drugs all day, sit idly by, have no kids, complain all the time, and protest. You see, we as conservatives make a decision to live a more adventurous life that will come with difficulty, that will come with opposition. But when it's all said and done, who is happier? 600 plus Turning Point USA chapter leaders or 600 plus BLM trans activists on college campuses across the country? You are a happier group of people. You have more joy. And it's because you are fighting for something and for ideas, and you are doing something that is bigger than you. The news flash, and the earlier you can embody this, is that life properly lived is about duty and obligation and obedience, not just self-pleasure or doing what you want to do all the time. And that opens the question, duty to what or duty to whom? Now, I know there's lots of different religious views here, but I hope we can all agree that duty to the divine or duty to the eternal or duty to God is the most important thing that a human being can do in his or her life. And a belief that two things, there is a God and you are not him, are two of the most important things that you can believe and internalize. You see, it is an amazing thing to witness, because I am given hope by so many of you who know the stakes. I get asked every single day by people that they want to make a difference. And they say, but I might be called bad names. I might be criticized. I might be ridiculed. And I say, well, why don't you come and meet some of our Turning Point chapter leaders? They're always criticized and ridiculed. And they love it. And they delight in it. And they keep on organizing. And this is one of the reasons why I believe we will ultimately win, is because when a movement grows in number, despite all the attempts by the bad guys to slow down our movement, that means that we want it more, and it does not matter what names that they call us. We are going to keep on organizing. We're going to keep on spreading the message. We're going to keep on multiplying. I mean, look around this room. This room right here is the left's worst nightmare. This room right here is 600 plus high school and college students from every walk of life in every different place of the country, from Florida to Washington to Illinois, to Wisconsin, to Arizona, where many of you did not know each other before this weekend. And you say, I want my children to live in a free society, and we are here to save the country so that we no longer have to live in a communist totalitarian hellhole. That right there shows that you are taking agency and taking action with purposeful intent. And so when you lay out what you want your life to look like, when pursuing a deep life is one of the most important things that you can do. Second thing I want to talk about here, which is, I think, incredibly important, is when you are presented with choices in life, when you are given a binary choice, for example, whether or not you want to take an extra job, whether or not you want to work those extra hours, it is far more important to think about your duty and your obligation and obedience rather than how you feel. How you feel is completely irrelevant. How you act is far more important. For example, some of you probably woke up this morning and said, 7:30 a.m. breakfast, I feel tired, I'm just gonna sleep in. Would that have been the right decision? Because if you allow your feelings to determine your action, what kind of life are you going to live? Instead, you allow your values to determine your action, not your feelings. And that is why, if you have strong values, your life will look infinitely richer and deeper.